Hello everybody, it is I, Tony, and welcome to another episode of TTBurger Game Reviews, and hope you all are having a great day. It's nice and sunny over here, it's perfect weather to go swimming and stuff, and for today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at another PS3 game. This game was actually released multi-console, it was released on the PS3, Xbox 360, and the PC, and this game was released in late 2010, like around the holiday season, we'll say, and it was made by Sega and Project Studios. And this was one of these games that pretty much wowed me when it came out, like surprised me, because I did not know much about this game. I see the game at GameStop and I see the title of it. I look at some reviews and it got high reviews, and I decided to check it out, and I was actually happy with this game. And that game we're gonna be looking at today is Vanquish. We're looking at the PS3 version, obviously, because it's the only version that I own. Now, like I said before, Vanquish is one of those gems that are like pretty much excite you throughout the entire game. I mean, there are a couple hiccups here and there with the game itself, but it's still a fantastic game. Now, I will admit right now, like getting things started here, that the story was kind of hard to follow, but then again, the story is not the most important part of a video game. The story just pretty much talks about how San Francisco has been blown up by this Russian government, and now you play as the main protagonist, Sam Gideon, as you fight through this futuristic Russian army and stuff like that, robot army and stuff, and that's pretty much basically just the story. The story is just basically there to move the game along and to get you to do cool stuff, and in reality, it works perfectly. I mean, it's not solid writing like Metal Gear Solid or anything like that or like a Heavy Rain and such, but still, storyline, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. For the game's presentation, the game looks awesome. Like, the game runs at a smooth 30 frames per second, and there's like not really that much dip in the frame rate or anything like that. And the graphics look nice and stuff like that, and look nice and colorful too, nice and bright. Got some bright lighting and like some nice cool gun and explosion effects too. And like Kevin Van Orn from GameSpot say, when things explode in this game, they explode. I mean, the explosions look cool, are probably the best part. You got the detailed looking character models, like Sam look very detailed, and Elena, who's pretty much the hot blonde female of the game, who pretty much wears a blue short sleeve shirt and shorts and stuff, and she looks really detailed, and the other supporting characters look nice as well. And for sound here is pretty much a hit or a miss. The voice acting is very cheesy and hokey. I mean, like, it's not as hokey as like how it was with hokey funny wise like in Resident Evil, but then again, like, the voice actors know that they're not here to do anything like A+. They're there to have fun and stuff, and the voice acting is good, and sometimes it's bad, is what I'm trying to say. It's hokey good, hokey bad, but most times it's hokey good. And of course, you got multiple languages you can choose from. But even though this is a game made by Sega, and it was made in Japan, and by Shinji Mikami, the guy who's behind Resident Evil and stuff, I kept the voice acting in English because the lip syncing matches up with it. I did play in Japanese, and I thought that the lip syncing would change to the Japanese, but it doesn't. I know some games do that, but that's just me. The music is pretty much a hit or miss. It's basically a lot of techno stuff. I wasn't paying too much attention to the music to give a rating about it. I mean, like, some of the tracks I heard were awesome, and some of them were just okay, why is this here? This isn't a very good track, but that's just me in my opinion. And the other sound effects, I just like the explosions sound great. The guns sound like futuristic guns and stuff. And depending on what if you're like some sound person when it comes to video games, then you may not like the sound. But me, I was neutral on it. I mean, I take it back. I thought the sound was decent. It was decent. Some bad hokey lines of dialogue, and some very good hokey lines of dialogue stuff kind of hamper it, but sound is decent. The gameplay in Vanquish is basically one of those sci-fi, over-the-shoulder, third-person camera games where, like, basically just shoot things and stuff. Now, people I know compared this game to Gears of War and say the Gears of War ripoff. Well, let me tell you something here, people. This game is 10 times better than Gears of War. I will admit right now, Gears of War is definitely one of the most boring ass game series I ever played. I could not get into it. The controls felt so stiff. I didn't care for the characters or the setting or anything like that. It just wasn't that fun of a game. I mean, I know people like it, and I understand that there are people who like Gears of War, but Gears of War is an awful series for me. Never cared for it, but Vanquish is awesome. And like I said before, you just pretty much move and shoot and get to the next point to get to complete the judgment and get to the next part of the level. The game is broken up into 5 chapters with multiple parts, and you can pretty much beat the game in about 8 hours, which is kind of a disappointment because the game is pretty short and stuff. But after that, you can do some single player challenges and such. But there's no multiplayer at all. I mean, I don't care for online multiplayer, but it would be nice to play some co-op multiplayer with some friends and stuff. But that's kind of a little nitpick there, but that's just me. And like but that's basically, it's not much else to say here. I mean, like, it's basically a fun third person shooter that you can do a lot of cool stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention there are some quick time events in this game. Yeah, but there's not that many quick time events. I know I've complained about quick time events in the past for other games, but this game has quick time events done correctly, and there's not that many of them either. So you're not taken out of the game like how it was in like games like Ninja Gaiden 3 or something like that, where it was bombarded with quick time events left and right. Which I'll talk about the Ninja Gaiden series someday. So yeah, I'm just saying it there. And the ending is actually really good too. I mean, like, I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but like the ending is definitely worth getting and stuff like that. I mean, there have been some games that disappointed me where the ending is not worth getting, and you pretty much think to yourself, why did I waste my time playing this and stuff? But Vanquish definitely did not disappoint me. Now, I don't know anything about the 360 and the PC versions, but from what I've heard, each version looks the same and plays the same for the most part, except for like probably some minor differences that I don't know about. But that's just me talking there. But since I only own the Sony console, I got it for the PS3. And also, the game has some very smooth controls. Got 2 control types, and both of them work. I'm using the default control scheme. But that's just me. I'm not going to go into the details of the controls. You want to learn about the controls, go buy the game or watch a tutorial video. So that's pretty much all I gotta say here. Vanquish is definitely a fun third-person sci-fi futuristic shooter that I recommend anybody who's fans of these type of games to pick up. You will not know what you're missing. It beats the shit out of Gears of War any day. Like I said before, I don't care for Gears of War. I think it's one of the most boring franchises out there, and I feel like Gears of War has been kind of milked to death at this point. I don't really care for it. So my final rating goes like this. Vanquish is definitely a fantastic sci-fi third-person shooter that I recommend people who are fans of these type of games and fans of shooters in general to pick up. Now, no matter what version you play here, you'll definitely get your money's worth. You can find it at GameStop at a cheap price now and stuff. That last time I checked when I've seen their reviews, it was about like $7-8 so definitely pick it up. It beats the shit out of Gears of War any day. And like I said before, Gears of War is one of the most boring franchises out there, but Vanquish does not disappoint me. Due to some of the problems I had, like with the hokey voice acting and like the length being very short, no co-op multiplayer or anything like that, I'll be giving this game a 9.5 out of 10. And that's pretty much all I gotta say about this. It's definitely worth it. And that's pretty much all I gotta say. This is Tony. Peace out, and have a great day, everybody.